What's up, YouTube? It's Dubk Dad. I don't know how many of you guys that are in my subscribers list are members of Zodiac Duelist or whatever that group is on Facebook page. And you'll notice a recurring theme. This is all Facebook related. It's just that, I don't get to post on YouTube quite as much as I want to. I get busy and things happen. But, Facebook, as I'm on my way to work or, in between shifts or whatever, I can just, use my old phone, flick through the little stories on Facebook and get that and then go on about my way. So, I can get that information faster than I can get it out on YouTube. But I have a little bit of time today, so I'm doing a string of videos to just get some of my ideas out there. Anyway, going back, there's people who think that certain cards should be banned because they don't know how to play around them. I don't know if that particular person, I'm sure a lot of you know who I'm talking about, does not understand that just because you don't know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Doesn't mean that the game should change to accommodate your inability to play the game. One of the primary cards, Soul Charge. I don't think that this card is ban worthy. If you want to argue with me, leave the comments down below and post your counterclaims. Let me tell you my thoughts about the card. In my opinion, Soul Charge is only as strong as the cards you can revive, the combos you can do, and then the damage you can inflict onto your opponent without actually having a battle phase. You understand what I'm saying? So, of course, in a deck like Mythic Rulers, which we all know is kind of inconsistent, but on a good day when they get their mills perfect, their draw engine going, and then they go to Soul Charge, they can make a pretty formidable board off of Soul Charge. Sometimes the field is unbreakable. Sometimes, you have the Max C, and your rectum is relatively safe. But I don't think that's any different from what Infernities do, without the use of Soul Charge. Just from the stupid ass plays they can do with Street Patrol. So, there's something to think about. In addition to some of the things that Madolches can do with the hand of Mew, Angeli, and Instant Fusion, the things they can do on their first turn without the use of Soul Charge. And then you got some decks, like Bujins, even Evil Swarm, Constellar, who can rely on their rank 4s or their Exceed monsters or just the monsters themselves without going into any extra deck that can handle the opponent's field. Because see, when you play Soul Charge, you're giving up life points, and so you need to make sure that you make impact. Even if it's simple as summoning a monster, playing Soul Charge, overlaying the 2 monsters for Exciton, and wiping your opponent's board. That's one use. That certainly makes up for not being able to do damage, because Exciton doesn't necessarily allow you to do damage anyway. I mean, if you're able to attack over something, or then you do damage, but blowing the field Exciton, that's one thing. But if you're able to, let's say, make a Ragnar 0 and pop an Abyss Dweller and Mermails, or pop something under Necro Valley, or pop something under Madolche Chateau, or pop Grapha because he had gates up, that's one thing. You can make a Diamond Dyer, 101 to absorb an opposing monsters, those kind of things. Soul Charge allows you to do that. And and in that regards, I think it's fair, because generally Soul Charge only becomes a blowout if and only if the grave is set up and your opponent's not prepared for it. But at the same time, the decks that can set up with no grave setup, what are your options to that? If I'm the Madolche player and I want to set up a terrifying board, I go Mew, Angeli, Tribute, Hoot Cake, do things, Instant Fusion for whatever, set up my board, set my traps, my Dolce Palooza, wiretaps, all the other shit. What are you to do? I have this sick board. I have my ticket, so my hoot cake goes back to my hand, when everything's all said and done. And since he came off of Angeli, he can't be destroyed by battle. What do you do? That's where Soul Charge comes into play. If you are able to somehow set up your grave in such a way, then you can Soul Charge and try to overcome that board, or at least try to stall a turn or two, and then Soul Charge to try to get back into the game. Those are my arguments for why Soul Charge is not exactly ban-worthy. The gentleman on Facebook said that Monster Reborn is more balanced. I don't see how getting any monster from any graveyard and also being allowed to attack cost-free is on par with not having your battle phase and having to pay life points, putting yourself in range to shit like Heartland Draco or Grinder Golem, or not Grinder Golem, but Giant Grinder or Cowboy, or any number of cards, or Black Ship of Corn. You're putting yourself in those range, those cards, depending on the game state, and I don't see how that's on par with. I don't see how that's on par with Monster Reborn. It's Dubk Dad, and I'm out.